Pixie, you're a feminist.
Yes.
A lot of feminists claim that women are oppressed.
Yes.
Do you agree? Do you think women are oppressed?
Yeah, I think there's certain ways that women face oppression.
Okay.
Wow.
So you're a woman.
Yes.
I didn't mean to assume your gender there. How are you oppressed?
As I previously stated, I think it's absolute bullshit that me and a guy can have the same exact resume, or that I might be overqualified than him, and on the basis of my name, out of like a million studies that there are out there, I am less likely to be chosen.
However, the thing is, though, is that that's one study, but then you hear all this stuff about affirmative action and that, oh, we're going on a diversity hiring spree, and apparently diversity has to do with 50% of the population, or more than 50% of the population, which is women.
Okay.
So
there seems to be a disparity between a company claiming to be diverse and inclusive and then actual hiring practices, right? Can we
HR
agree that this
departments
exists?
are made out of hyper liberal, typically women.
Okay, I'm not the
And women
leader
have
of every HR department, but I can say that we can just like look at like blind studies and blind data. And when we look at affirmative action, the way that's supposed to work is that it's supposed to be two people of equal merit. Then, okay, we might pick the woman, or the woman might be picked in certain scenarios. But either way, it doesn't change the fact that you see like a big gap in diversity for a couple of reasons, mostly favoring men. And guess what? One of these reasons...
You think DEI has a bias towards hiring men?
I think...
Well, so it mainly has to
What?
do with because the assumption
what?
that women will have children eventually. So it is true. If you see a name on a resume, if they're a woman, you assume that they're going to, like, especially a woman who is like mid-20s or late 20s or early 30s, they actually do hire women less because they assume that they will have children.
They're gonna take
But-
time
Which
away.
it is, yeah.
But
So like that's a
technically
business
speaking-
decision, but it's still unfair because not all women want children. It's just like a generalization. And also like now a lot of men also take care of their kids. Like a lot of women want like stay-at-home husbands because the
But-
wage gap is closing.
Hold on. With the HR departments and with diversity, equity, inclusion, almost all companies are attempting to hire like at least 50% women, have a certain amount of women on the C level, have a certain amount of women.
What
in
companies?
Well,
Not in tech,
All-
not in fucking fame.
Not in tech?
Not in tech.
Not in tech.
Why is the most
Tech is
like
the most...
trans people
It's
and,
software
like, all the
engineering?
diverse
Oh, maybe in
people?
marketing,
Yeah.
maybe on like the front desk, but
No,
in software
even-
engineering?
That's what
No,
we're
even
saying.
programmers.
There's a
even
difference?
Yes.
yeah, there's
Well,
a
not
lot.
when I
Yes.
worked in
Yes.
2020,
Can you name the
2019.
companies?
Even I've heard
Can you
stories.
name the company?
Huh?
Can you name the company?
Can I
Literally,
name the
at-
can I
Fang, like
name the
Facebook,
company? I don't know the
Alphabet,
fucking
First
company.
Like-
five
Netflix.
biggest banks in America for certain, like pretty much any company that cares about ESG scores whatsoever, which is like the majority. I think every single company on the NASDAQ.
Oh, look at this. Apple.com diversity page. Inclusion and diversity.
Yeah.
Nick, can you search this?
Software engineering.
Apple.com/diversity.
Yeah.
Look,
so like,
there's-
just like how I
what
said,
For
right?
software engineering?
Yeah, no,
Oh,
just how I said. Listen
oh.
to me. There is a gap between what people are stating, what they're marketing, versus what's actually happening in reality. And the gap is closing, but it doesn't change the fact that there is a gap. And the question is, why does this gap exist?
There was.
It exists because, hey, people assume women are less competent.
Inclusion is a good
They
marketing.
assume... Yeah, they assume that women are less competent. They assume that women are going to have children. And women, to begin to get into these spheres, is already very difficult.
Wait, hold on. They assume that women are going to have children. I mean, but is that a fair assumption to make? Don't most women have
Well, they assume that the mother
children?
wants to take care
That's
of the
what
children.
we're
but it's
taught.
fine. Yeah, that's what we're taught.
Well, aren't there certain just like biological realities, like she has to
I
nurse
bet
the
more women
Yeah.
are having
child?
children than men.
Okay.
Wait,
Controversial
Pixie,
take.
Pixie.
What?
Can men? Wait. Hold on. Pixie.
Hot
Pixie.
take.
Hold on.
Oh my God, I'm not
no,
going to answer
Pixie,
this question.
Pixie.
I refuse to answer this question.
Let me just ask.
No, I know what you're going to ask.
Hold on. Just,
Pixie.
Pixie, hold on.
Wait, can we let her guess what you're about to ask before?
I know exactly
Yeah.
what
What
you're
is,
going to
what
ask.
is he about to ask?
You're going to be like, can men have children?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Can men get pregnant?
Can men get pregnant?
Wait, can men get pregnant?
Let me answer, okay?
Okay.
Maybe in the
Sorry. Go ahead.
future.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what I was
she
about to
thinks they
say.
can.
Hold on,
She's a
I'm ready.
liberal. She thinks they can.
Well, I think if you, a trans man, technically, but I feel like this is so already like beyond the realm of general reality.
Yeah, science is getting really
Good.
Interesting. So
I
I, feel
want
like
some.
anything can happen
Sorry,
pretty soon.
you're not part of this team.
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh my god,
Hater.
this is discrimination. We
Yeah.
believe in trans men, so we don't get popcorn.
It's fucked up.
I'll give you some after the show. I don't want to just throw popcorn at you.
I think.
Okay, here,
He
Kat.
kind of does though.
Wait, are you ready, Pixie?
Okay.
your mouth.
Oh, that wasn't a throw. Yeah. That wasn't like
That was targeted.
like with malice.
Okay,
I'm
that was
so
assault. That was battery. It's on camera. I think you're fucked.
Look.
No, she consented.
Well, you
You
like
said throw it to me.
that was like
Here,
a.
I'll do it.
Outside the bounds of consent.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to throw it that hard. I thought popcorn would have a little.
Yeah.
It's not
Here.
cotton
You
candy.
ready?
Oh.
You ready,
You got
Kat?
it,
Is
you
this
got
a
it.
thing?
You ready? You ready? All right.
He's
Wow,
like,
that was
oh,
terrible.
I'm
Give it a try.
erotically clean. And
Kobe.
Catch it in your boobies.
Wait.
You literally. That's why I was trying to catch it. I mean, thanks. Come on.
Kobe. Oh,
Almost.
fuck. Okay, all right.
You're such a big target.
Yeah.
Come on.
How are you missing?
Wait, so men can get pregnant.
A trans man could theoretically, but I
Okay.
feel like this is just.
Don't forget the non-binaries.
Wait.
Don't forget the NBs.
Yes.
The
The
babies.
question
And
mark.
the
Okay?
walruses.
Don't forget the
Not
days.
Don't forget the
Please.
hippopotamus.
All the hippopotamuses.
Wait.
Oh my god.
Pixie, so how
Yeah.
are you oppressed?
How am I-
Besides that one example.
Okay.
What else you got for us?
I'm more likely to get sexually assaulted.
That's not oppression.
I
it's not
will
oppression.
say
Yeah, men
that
are more likely to get
How
killed.
are you defining oppression?
okay. But
Like oppression typically has to come from some
Sorry, raise
like.
your hand.
Okay, do you want to? I feel
Has
Like,
to come from
let me ask you a
society.
question. If you're like, let's say you're in the upper echelons of status of society, but like you fall victim to some sort of violent crime, like random violent crime, does that mean that you are oppressed because you're a victim of a random violent crime?
if it's random, but if it's on the basis of my gender, that's different.
What? Wait,
There's
what?
no female president.
because he's
Wait,
not.
man.
Would that same man do the same? Or I'm assuming it's a man. Do the same thing to a man, or is he seeking out women? I think that's what she's saying.
Men
like a
can
Jack
get
the Ripper vibe.
It's yes, men can get sexually assaulted too.
But
so-
No,
But
of
people
course
are
they can. I'm
mostly
saying in that
heteronormative.
Specific circumstance.
Okay,
you're playing some weird judo with language here. I don't know exactly.
let's start here. How are you defining oppression? Because that's where
How
all
do
the
you-
other
how do
arguments
you
are going to
define
come
oppression,
from. No, I asked
madam?
you first.
How
I'll
do you
answer
define
again.
Free speech,
oppression.
a lack of free
Ooh.
speech.
No.
Yeah,
And
no.
inequality, like you don't have something that the other person has. They have some type of a leg up, some type of a magical or mythological thing that is allowing them to be able to supersede your results, even though you have the same
Politicians?
qualifications.
Well,
for
yeah, that's a
example.
very that's a really good example.
That's not a good
What did you
example
say?
because
YouTube
for most people who
creators,
became a politician,
Twitch-
they were probably working 80 hours per week as either a
Twitch
lawyer or
streamers.
some other type of similar profession.
Donald
in
Trump,
order
though?
to get to
the
that
idea
level.
that
Yeah.
okay.
Twitch streamers.
Hold on, you're just naming. Hold on, you're just naming the fact that certain jobs men have dominated in those fields, but then you also have recognized earlier in this conversation that when it comes to like the
When it comes to men spending money on women, yeah, OnlyFans is a thing.
no, but
because
when I'm talking about the intellect, yeah, and into the mic when you're done.
Oh, yeah.
When you talk about the intellect for men versus women, men have a much less steep bell curve. Women have an extremely steep bell curve around the median. So you're going to have men who are
normal.
yeah have a more normal, like it's a normal distribution for both of them, but women are much more centered around the median, have a much steeper bell curve. So you're going to have more men who are mentally slow, but you're going to also have more men who are
Excelling.
exceptional geniuses. So when you have spaces that like people of particular genius tend to excel, then men are going to be within are going to hold most of the space of the top 1% of those.
Oh, is this the greater
Maybe-
male variability?
No, okay, this
Yeah,
shit
yeah, yeah.
pisses
That's what
me
we were
off.
talking
I'm
about.
not gonna lie.
But maybe it's because of the
Okay.
fall of
Pixie's
the middle
pissed.
class.
am.
Pixie's pissed.
I am.
the Pixie.
Pixie,
Maybe
speak
it's
your
because of
mind.
the
Wait,
fall
I'll
of
let
the
her
middle
speak and then
class
I'll
that
speak.
I feel like women have to shorten it, but it's just the middle class that's literally becoming less
Okay.
able.
Pixie, how
Less
are you
purchase power
oppressed?
lower.
No, wait. Let
How
me
are
answer. I
oppressed?
just literally answered, but multiple times.
You said you're oppressed because you have a chance of you
I
have
am
a
more
higher
likely to-
likelihood of being victimized. But
Yes, I'm more likely to be sexually harassed than a man. Okay, than a man is to be sexually harassed by a woman or even other
that's
men.
not. I don't think that's
Yes,
evidence
that
of
is
oppression.
All sex.
You're literally we
But how
defined
does
it.
that affect your day-to-day
something.
life? Like, if every single day when you go out there, when you wake up, when you walk out of your house, when you go to your job, when you go to sleep, is this literally on your mind?
That's
Like,
not how we
If you
started.
live in LA, if you live in LA, actually, if you live in downtown LA or K-Town or Hollywood,
Chicago, Fresno, Bakersfield.
Bakersfield, New York City, like just it depends. It depends.
No, Chicago,
Okay.
isn't it like a lot of gang shootings, a lot of
When
fighting?
I
It's
think
not
of
a lot-
oppression, I think of not being able to vote.
I feel like it needs to affect your
Not
day-to-day
being
life.
able to
It needs
own
affect
property.
your
I
day-to-day
think,
life.
okay,
Like,
that's not how we first started establishing oppression, but even if you want to establish it that way, I think things that affect my long-term career opportunities and my long-term trajectory in life does count, even if it's not like a single instance every single day. It's the fact that my life in
Men are
general
not
I
is
have an
holding
example.
you. Men are not
I
holding
have
you
one
back
example.
from the job that you desire.
What do you mean? If I literally am just as qualified or more qualified
What
for a
evidence
job,
do you have of that?
So
we
you don't think
literally
there's-
have study after study
There's
after
no-
study. You can
that-
search it
that's
up.
not-
And there's
There's
that's
not a
kind of-
quality of outcome, but there's a quality of opportunity. Do you not acknowledge
Well,
that there's
that's
at least
a problem.
quality of opportunity?
I'm not even getting the opportunity to shine in certain spaces.
So you don't think? So you disagree that there is you don't think that there's a quality of opportunity right now?
No, I don't.
You have affirmative action. You have
Yeah,
more
but affirmative
opportunity.
action is only a band-aid. Most people who get admitted to college, for example, from affirmative
But they
action actually
still
have to
reap
drop
the
out.
benefit of the affirmative
they
action
can't
which
get
they
through
receive.
and
Do you think
graduate.
affirmative
Here,
action isn't this like little magical
It
fairy
affects
wand
jobs,
that solves
too.
all problems regarding
Yeah,
like
it affects jobs.
equality
They
or
could get
sociality?
Hold on, guys.
dismissed,
One
too.
one mic at a time. Go ahead.
Okay, affirmative action is not this little magical wand that suddenly
That's not
solves
what I'm
all
saying.
problems when but that's what you're saying. You're like, you guys have affirmative action. And it's like,
Yes,
even
but-
with affirmative action, there are still differences in the ways that men and women are treated in society, some of them unfairly.
Hold on, can you agree?
So okay, you've presented a study. You've made some arguments about. Well, there's this study where with the two
I can describe-
exact same resumes, the one with the male name does better than the one with the female name. But that's a study we have in action. Like that's, I think, much more observable than a study. You have affirmative action. You have DIE in major, even mid-tier corporations, major corporations.
Yeah, and yet you still
No,
see
when they do the studies, though, they do comparison between with names and without names, and people who, like, when you do the studies without names, way more.
And
women
you
get
know who
admitted.
probably ran the study? It was probably some feminist studies program.
It's
that
not just
going
one
into the
study. There's
that
multiple.
going
There's
into the
entire
study-
journals.
that
There's
going
it's
into- hold
well
on,
established.
Let me finish. Going into the study, they were fishing for an exact. It's like if you're looking for the answer.
Yeah, you're
No,
saying that the
there's-
study is false to begin
It'll
with.
be like the same people applying to all of tech, and then some tech
Who
places will
conducted
not.
the study? Was it some
I
feminist?
think it was
don't
Yale.
trust-
I guess Yale is
What,
like
the
a
It doesn't
feminist-
have to be a feminist,
Yale's
but the
pretty
assumption
not
is that women
reliable.
will eventually have children and take maternity leave. So it's like a business decision. So what she is saying is true, but because of the business decision,